Well, I don't want to ruin your laughter right away and go right to the AEW review. I did send you a video of something a lot of people are talking about. I haven't watched NXT an entire episode in quite a while, but there are various highlights that pop up here and there. And I sent you a video, I hope you watched it.
I did.
Of the debut of formerly Killer Kross, now renamed cleverly Karrion Kross, and formerly Scarlett Bordeaux, now I guess just Scarlett.
Boy, there's stuff here. By the way, Mark Marrow has changed. He looked completely different.
Oh, that's not fair. That's awful.
Well, unfortunately, that's what's happening. Scarlett is the star. Scarlett was the star of the entrance. Scarlett was the star of the thing. I'm not saying this guy isn't any good. But once again, it was the same bland, blasé. We talked about, somebody asked the question, what's WWE style? This was WWE style. First of all, the entrance was fabulous. The music is great. The guy looks tremendous, right? On the entrance, at first you thought, well, maybe they're going to feature him, but then they went back to featuring her. She was the start, and then she was the finish, but she was fabulous. But he looks good, and he obviously can do some shit. When the bell rings, every move he did, if he had pounced on that fucking guy, thrown him with whatever the fuck, boom, picked him up, thrown him again, got on top of him, imposed his will, put his fucking weight on him, ground his face a little bit, and made that nice fucking mean face that old Mr. Kross has, and then dumped him again and beat him, that would have been, he would have made an impact, and he would have been able to hang with the star of the team, Miss Scarlett. Unfortunately, he pounced on the guy, threw him, and then stood up and walked around forever, looking at no one so the camera can see his face like they tell him to do. And then he did another move, and then he walked around some more. Now go back and watch the thing now that I'm saying this to you people out there. And then you'll understand the difference. Instead of that big entrance built up in our minds, we want to see what the fuck's going to go on here. And then it was a new WWF guy, does a couple moves, walks around a lot, and beats the guy. I don't know where Karrion Kross came from. I hate that fucking name. Nobody has ever named their kid Karrion in their lives. He's got a lot of potential, but why couldn't he go out and have a Brock Lesnar squash? Turn this fucking guy loose when the bell rings and he mauls a motherfucker in fucking short, quick, decisive, aggressive fashion, dumps him on his head 18 times, looks dangerous doing it, not even 18 times, 3 times, looks dangerous doing it, and fucking wins. That explosive kind of dominant performance would have held up the people's expectations from the entrance. But because and he looks good, he's in great shape, he's big, and he has the mean face time came after he got the 1, 2, 3. When he got the 1, 2, 3, or was it a submission? It was a submission. That's another thing I didn't like. Should have been an impact fucking move. Or am I confusing that with one of the AEW clips, or did he get a submission?
Now I don't remember what the finish was.
Oh, what the fuck? I've seen so much of the big guys that do the same thing. But the point is, Kross made a mean face after he got the win. That should have been his time for the mean face, and then you could have lingered on it. But when he was just walking around in between each move, making the face and being obviously stagey, he was trying to look intimidating while looking slow, plodding, and not intimidating. He would have been looking intimidating if he hadn't been wandering around taking his time, staring off into space, and been single-minded in his focus on ripping this guy's fucking lungs out. That if you're going to do an entrance like that and a package that looks like that, you got to break some fucking eggs as soon as that bell rings and make your debut and make people remember it. That was standard shit that everybody else does. Lance Archer's been doing it on the other channel. Fucking every big guy fucking does it. And it's all blah. And they tell him to do it. And it was blah. I would have told him, act like that this guy is in between you and the last scrap of food on earth as soon as that bell rings, and fucking rough him up as well as beating him. Rough him up, rub his face in it, and fucking slap him on the back of the head after you beat him and make that mean face. And do it quick. That's the way you get over. So Scarlett got over. She's going to be a star. I just hope that she's not power bombing Karrion Kross by the time this fucking thing plays out a few more weeks. Or elsewise he will end up as fucking Mark Marrow again. But yeah, she's a tough. Don't share the screen with kids and dogs. Don't share the screen with Scarlett.
With an entrance like that, A, what did you think? And B, can you just do that over and over again? I mean, this is a debut on a show with no fans there, and they did that. Are you going to do that entrance with her lip syncing and the smoke and everything every single time they come out?
Well, if you're going to do an entrance, that'd be the one to do. I liked it. It was theatrical, but at the same time, it didn't look silly. And it was a badass picture. And once again, the attention is on her. Until this guy, either they let him turn himself loose if he is able to, and they just aren't letting him, or until he figures out how to turn himself loose and get over as strong physically as she gets fucking visually, it's going to be the Scarlett show. But yeah, do the entrance. Why not? Because an entrance, doing an elaborate entrance in an empty arena is not, to me, off-putting on the surface of it, because they know you're doing television. The people watching the television know you're doing television. It could be an entrance for television. And it was impressive. But don't do silly, stupid shit, and make fun of the fact that you're in the empty building on a serious entrance or whatever. But that alone is not a deal breaker. It's just who's doing it. Who's doing the entrance, not whether you have one or not.
Could you see them ever allowing someone on TV again with the name Killer?
Well, God damn it. Killer Kyle didn't kill anybody either.
And Killer Kowalski was one of the big stars for years. But, I mean, his name was Killer Kross. Good name. They changed it to Karrion Kross. Not so good.
What about Crusher Kross? Crippler? Maybe Crippler's too much also. Crusher Kross? Crusher Crotch. Crusher Kross? Or just anything. How about anything else besides Karrion? Isn't Karrion a bird? Is there a bird called a Karrion?
I must admit I'm not terribly familiar with that name, and like you said.
What about Karl Kross? Then the people could put their own killer in front of it. He could be, instead of Killer Carl Cox, he could be Killer Karl Kross. Anything but Karrion. But I mean, what did you think? What did you see from that debut as it was?
You kind of hit on the big thing for me, which was just it should have been a quick squash, I think. But beyond that, just the faces. At a certain point, there are guys who look tough, and there are guys trying to ham it up and look a certain way. And I thought his faces, with her it works, but his faces seemed a little hokey to me at times.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if that was a fucking aggressive heel like Terry Funk, or not even a monster heel like an Abdullah the Butcher, but just a Brock Lesnar, to use a modern example. If what would he have done to the fucking guy, and how would he have looked? And how aggressive would he have been right off the bat? That's what I'm saying. To match that entrance and to keep up with her, he has to be explosive, violent, vicious, and bordering on criminal assault. And that would get over. But as it was, little bit of a letdown.
How do you think Vince will react when he sees her?
Well, he's already seen her. I guarantee you. Vince McMahon has already seen her, which is probably why that she got the majority of the fucking entrance. If not, she'll get the majority of something as soon as he does have his full control of her.
What the hell does that mean?
Well, I mean, if he's right now it's NXT. That's supposed to be Triple H's baby. When she comes up to the main roster and he has full control of her, he will put her in a variety of different positions where she will look good in all of them. All right. That's what I'm saying to you.
No white cotton panties, though.
No. All right. Let's go to the white. God damn it. And why? If he and Shitstain had a fetish for any kind of panties, why would they be white cotton panties? It reminds me of fucking Rebecca of Donnybrook Farm. I want the fucking crotchless goddamn leather panties with the fucking, the whole oomph instead of just, granny panties.